Hi there, it's Nicole here today for Simon Says Stamp, and I'm super excited to share this trio of baby cards featuring stamps and dies from the latest release at Simon Says Stamp called Best Days. This release is full of amazing new products, and I have combined lots of them for my baby cards today. I was running a little low on new baby cards, and there's so many fun new products in the Best Days release, so we're going to use them to create some baby cards here today. I'm going to start by using the brand new reverse polka dot background, and I'm going to place this in my MISTI. I've got some sheets of smooth white cardstock trimmed down to 4 by 5¼ inches, and we're going to ink these up and create our own pattern paper backgrounds. And I want them to be really subtle and soft because these are baby cards. I'm going to be using Fog ink first. This is a super light gray. In fact, after I stamped this, I kind of wasn't sure if I was really going to like this for a baby card, but do remember that with dye inks, they lighten as they absorb and dry into the paper. And it actually ended up being a favorite. I love all of them. Just really, really fun. So there's the first one. I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp really good, and then ink up the next one with a little sea glass ink. All of the inks I'm using here today are from Simon Says Stamp. What I love about sea glass is it is a super light blue, and it is one of my all-time favorites. It's beautiful. There is sea glass cardstock to match, and just a very, very beautiful light blue ink. Again, just doing the same thing here. I want to press really hard, make sure that I get a great stamped impression. I am using the MISTI Stamp Positioner tool. This helps so much, you guys, if you want to get a nice even impression every time. Again, I want to clean off my stamp, and of course, this time we're going to do a light pink background. The light pink was stamped with cotton candy ink. So let's take our first background here. That cloud die I was just showing you is the new Picture Book Sky background. We're going to use this for all 3 cards. My first one I did die cut from Fog cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the Fog background. We're doing tone on tone for each of the cards, kind of centering this little miniature scene on a polka dot kind of quote unquote pattern paper background. We've created our own pattern papers, but we're going to layer this little scene on there. I am replacing the clouds with some vellum clouds. I've die cut the Picture Book Sky background from vellum. For those little vellum clouds, I ran them through the Xyron sticker maker so they have a nice layer of adhesive all over the back. Placed those in the clouds. It kind of helps mute the background just a little bit. And then we're going to take some white clouds die cut from white cardstock and pop those up with some foam adhesive squares. Now on my first card, I did not do all 3 clouds. And the reason is my little picture book lamb that I'm using here for this first card sticks up pretty high. And the top of the lamb's head kind of looks like a cloud, and I felt like that was going to be way too much white right in that area. So we're not going to use that 3rd cloud on this first card. The Picture Book Lamb is part of the new Picture Book dies, as well as this Picture Book Sky background for the Best Days release. There's also a croc and a walrus, which I used on a card that I shared here a couple days ago. I will link to that at the end of the video if you want to see some more of the Picture Book dies in action. I love that Simon keeps adding to their picture book die collection. There are so many fun things you can do with these dies. So fun. This would be incredible for Easter cards, like a baby card like I'm doing here, other critter cards, maybe farm animals. I don't know. There's so many things you can do with these. I just absolutely love the picture book dies. I have die cut the lamb from smooth white cardstock, also cotton candy cardstock for the insides of the ears. For the face and the belly and the ears, those were all die cut from smoke cardstock. I am using all Simon Says Stamp cardstocks here today, and then black for the eyes and the nose. And I'm just working slow, adding all these little pieces. A jewel picker or a other type of tool really helps pick up all these little pieces and put them where you want them to go. So here the scene is kind of just about finished. I do like to put an acrylic block on things to help hold them down. Off camera, I did die cut the Oh Baby words, also brand new, the shadow from Smooth White cardstock, and the greeting from the cotton candy cardstock that we'll layer on top. This kind of helps ground everything, especially along that bottom edge. I've talked about the picture book dies before and how I'm a big fan of tucking them kind of into something, or layering them along an edge or the bottom of a card or whatever it might be to help ground them a little bit. Just for whatever reason, to my eye, I think that looks nice. Well, in this instance, the little cloud or sky background and the lamb are kind of tucked into the greeting or the layer of the greeting. Now, I started to put the rest of my sentiment, which I stamped from the Oh Baby stamp set, on some slate gray cardstock with Versamark and heat embossed with white embossing powder, but I picked that up really quick because I forgot to layer on my actual sentiment from the Oh Baby words. This was die cut from cotton candy cardstock. I'm using Ranger Multi Matte Medium to add glue, just like I did for the lamb picture book die. And we're going to layer that on there and then tuck the congratulations greeting there kind of in the loop of the Y. I'm a big fan of trying to implement or adhere my sentiments into the rest of my design when possible. Don't forget the little comma. It's so teeny tiny, easy to lose. I usually try to put my pieces on another piece of paper or something like that just to hold them all down right there where I can see them. So here is the first background. This card is basically finished. I'm going to adhere this to a white top fold card base. Because it's slightly trimmed down, it's going to have a nice white border all the way around, which will tie in really nicely with the polka dot, the reverse polka dot design. And as always, I'm finishing my eyes and nose with some glossy accents so that they're nice and shiny and dimensional and really pop. My second card is very much the same, just using a couple of different dies and moving placement around for the congratulations greeting, which I will talk about as I get to it. I've already adhered almost everything to my card. The sky background is from Sea Glass cardstock this time instead of the fog gray. Again, tone on tone, vellum clouds, popped up all of the little clouds, and then these elephants are also a brand new die, the Sweet Elephants. How darling are these? They were die cut from Smoke and Fog cardstock and a little black cardstock for the eye, and I adhered them along the bottom edge of the scene. The greeting is also new. It's the Welcome Little One greeting, very much like the Oh Baby, with a background and then the scripty style greeting on top. For that, I did die cut my greeting from Slate cardstock, the darkest gray cardstock, the one that I'm using to stamp my congratulations sentiment on, to really make it pop. Now, the card without the little red heart was really plain, I guess. I felt like it needed a pop of color really bad. I save all my little confetti pieces. These are little heart dies from my favorite hearts die from Simon Says Stamp that's been out for several years. It die cuts these beautiful little hearts. I believe this is lipstick red cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. I had all these little hearts, and so I simply popped them onto my card, and that pop of color made all the difference in the world, I think, on this design. Now, instead of putting my congratulations greeting down below, I just didn't like that. I laid it there, I looked at it, it just did not work for me at all. I did put some glossy accents on the eye. Instead, I'm going to tuck one of the edges under one of the clouds up high, and this balances out the whole design so much better, I think. I think with the bigger greeting down below, it just was too much down underneath the scene. So we've put congratulations up high, added some glossy accents to the hearts, and that card's done. For my third card, instead of using die cuts to complete my scene, we're going to use the stork and the little bag it's carrying from the Oh Baby stamp set and color those in and die cut them with the coordinating dies and layer them on the same scene. Same exact card design. We're going to use the Oh Baby greetings again. Very, very similar to the first card. We're just using different images. So whatever you choose to use, whether it's die cuts or stamps, this kind of scene will work for lots of different cards. I am showing my coloring here of the stork and the bag. Now that pink that you see on the bottom half of this piece of paper, that actually is the cotton candy ink. I will show you here when I start putting my card together. The cotton candy cardstock was not working for me on the cotton candy stamped reverse polka dot background. It was too harsh. It was too pink. I think that it ended up looking a little more peachy pink with the actual ink. And so I wanted to make my own paper to match as far as the tone on tone sky background. So I went ahead and just took my ink pad and direct to paper inked up that little piece that I will die cut with the sky background. My stork and the bag, you can do these in any color. Obviously, I went with the pink since I have a pink background here. These are darling. This is such a cute stamp set. And there's a lot of maybe two-tone stamping in this if you want to, or you can color. But there's like a little shirt and a bib that you can do a polka dot design, some little socks, or you can fill them in with stamps to do like a little baby clothesline for different kinds of cards. So here are those two backgrounds side by side, and you can really see the difference when I die cut my second one, or the one that I inked up with the direct to paper technique. So let's check those out, and you're going to see what a huge difference, because the one on the left is just too harsh. I did not like it at all. But look, that matches perfectly. Even though it's nice and dark, it matches that background. So now we're going to do the same thing that we did for the other two cards, just using these stamped, uncolored, and die cut images instead. Exact same design. I'm a big fan of using one design to create multiple cards with whatever images and greetings you might be using. You could switch out the images and the greetings, and these cards could be thank you cards, birthday cards, add birthday hats to the elephants, to the lamb, to whatever image you use there, and these immediately become something completely different. So a very versatile kind of base or background scene, and then just switch it up with whatever kind of card you need. Again, that Xyron sticker maker makes adding adhesive to the back of those vellum clouds so easy. You're not going to see any adhesive. Popping up all three of the white clouds with some foam adhesive squares. And I offset them a little bit. It just gives the illusion of more clouds, I think. And then we want to layer the stork and the little bag of the baby it's carrying. But we need to be careful where we put the adhesive, because it's going to overlap some of the clouds, and you don't want to have foam adhesive on some of that and make it stick up even higher and kind of goofy. So we're going to be very conscious of where we put those foam adhesive squares. In fact, I had to move a couple of them because I didn't get them right in the correct place. Put a little Ranger Multi-Matte Medium over anything that overlaps a cloud to kind of help secure everything really well to the card. Starting with the stork, we're going to lay that, and here's where I realized I had a foam adhesive square somewhere I didn't need it. So I peeled that off. Lay him right there, right across the sky background scene. Next, we're going to add some foam adhesive squares to the bag. And then we want to tuck that underneath his beak so it kind of appears that he's holding it there and carrying it through the sky. And everything coordinates so much better. I'm so glad that I didn't go with the cotton candy cardstock background, because it didn't really match the rest of the colors. In fact, the Copic colors I picked to color in my bag, I picked them specifically because they coordinated so much better with the cotton candy reverse polka dot background and the direct to paper sky background than maybe some other pink choices. The Oh Baby shadow, die cut from smooth white cardstock again. It goes along the bottom edge, kind of help framing it all up. Adding a layer of the greeting. This was die cut from the smoke cardstock, the medium gray cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. Ties nicely into some of that color on the stork itself. Go ahead and get the rest of this. Don't forget the little comma. And finally, we have the congratulations greeting, which we're going to tuck into the loop of the Y on baby. Adhere the whole thing to a white top fold card base. And that will finish off my third and final baby card featuring stamps and dies from the Simon Says Stamp Best Days release. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Simon Says stamps and dies that you might be interested in. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.